So the medical gaslighting continues. I sent a picture over to the allergy department, the doctor over there, who I thought was going to be our saving grace. After I gave him all the information and I told him, I showed him pictures and I showed him a picture today and I was like, I gave this and she looked like she had an allergy, and then I didn't give it and she looked like she didn't have an allergy. She got better, and then I gave it again and then she looked worse, and then it was more, no, this isn't IV fluids, this is her body leaking fluids out of the vessel, like out of the cells and like into the tissue, which it is. She has capillary leak syndrome, we know that. And the worst part about it, first he said it was her albumin could be low, which I know it's not. They do check that. She has had low albumin in the past, and that does cause what we call third spacing, which is where your fluids kind of get out of where they're supposed to be and they get into your tissue. Or reduced kidney function, which they do check her kidneys. Of course, that's a concern. And her kidney function is normal. But what really was the kicker is this other place that he told me to go. Let me find the message. Okay. And he said, this would suggest the issue is, all caps, not specifically related to IV fluids versus a non-specific effect of fluid that does not stay effectively in the vasculature and leaks out, perhaps because, and then he goes on about the albumin in the kidney, which we already know that. You can look up her labs, but I don't know. Okay, but this is what he said at the end. Nevertheless, this issue is noted by us, but one of Oli's providers are better suited to address that issue, although there is an occasional immune or autoimmune issues that can have these effects. Until we can get further issues defined, Oli will still get the swelling issue addressed elsewhere. So my question is, where is elsewhere? How do I make an appointment with elsewhere? Are they in Austin? Are they accepting new patients? Because one doctor, he pushes it off on whatever elsewhere. And then the PCP, they are not equipped. Oli is one big walking emergency. And I absolutely love her primary care physician. I have her cell phone. And she's like, text me anytime. She's amazing. But she's like, I'm not equipped to deal with all of this. Like, this is specialist. And then the GI doctor only does GI stuff, right? So all of her suggestions are things like pollen allergy. So then I go to my best friend, ChatGPT. We're like this now. And I talk to him about it. And I gave him all of my messages from the last 3 days of what I was sending allergy. And I basically just read it, and then I read the doctor's response. And I just said, what do you think that this means? And it said the same thing it always says. I think that this sounds like mast cell activation syndrome, because you can have capillary leak syndrome with mast cell. You can have tachypnea. You can have that weird wet cough that she's had for months and months now. The chest x-ray is normal. She sounds good. I don't hear any crackles. She doesn't have fluid in her lungs, but she has this wet cough every once in a while. The breathing really fast. Like all of it. And so I've given, over the last 2 weeks, ChatGPT every possible story I can give it, trying to get a different answer, right? Like, I've given it from beginning to end. And you know what it said? MCAS, or mast cell driven reaction, seems most likely given the flushing, swelling, tachypnea, intermittent tachycardia, and improvement with Benadryl. TPN or LR could be triggering histamine release or delayed hypersensitivity reaction. And blah, blah, blah. I don't even know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. But basically, ChatGPT agrees with me and says I'm not crazy. And I think they're crazy. And I feel like it's getting the worse. The longer this person. And the more I tried to give them information, the more they're like, no, go tell that, go elsewhere with that. Take your information elsewhere. And I'm like, okay, then I go over here, and this doctor is like, oh, that's not our department. That needs to go over here. And then I give it to them, and they're like, no. your other people will deal with it. I'm like, who is managing her care? I don't know. Allergy only, I mean, I don't know what he knows. I thought he was going to be our saving grace, but now I'm like, now he's telling me about this elsewhere, and I just need to find and meet this elsewhere. So if any of y'all know where they live, shoot me their phone number, because I'd like to meet them and show them my daughter. Maybe they have answers.